Today I've got a B&O television to show. This is the MX8000. It debuted in the year 2002. It's the last in the line of the MX series from B&O. I generally don't have any B&Os to show because they are a little bit pricey still. Seems to be a lot of B&O collectors out there that keeps the prices up, but the MX8000 came up and I thought I'd try it out. I've got a setup here today that's a fair bit different from my other videos. I've also got here a Loewe on the right that has the E3000 chassis inside. That's one of my favourite TVs there. I've got the source material connected in such a way that it's displaying on both televisions simultaneously. I'm not using any consoles. I'm using a PC running MAME, or more specifically Groovymame. That's a bit of a story in itself, Groovymame, but basically what happens is that the video card in the PC generates the horizontal and the vertical resolutions and the refresh rates of the real arcade boards. So the signal the TVs are receiving are around that 15 kilohertz area. It's not VGA. So we're getting an output from the computer very similar to arcade board, and that seems pretty good. I haven't really fully gotten into it, but I'm happy with the results so far. So we're going to make a direct comparison amongst both televisions. I'll go around the back and just show you a bit of the cabling that's going on. It's a bit of a mess actually. There's no signal conversion, but it's more of just a case of getting plugs and sockets adapted into from VGA to SCART. There's the Extron, the matrix switcher that basically takes in the signal from the PC and duplicates it and sends it out to up to 8 televisions, but only 2 in this case. So it's a little bit messy around here. It's a bit exaggerated in actually what it does, but it's doing its job. I've got it set up. Now when I was researching this B&O, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't a model that had any 100 Hz processing, which so many TVs do. All the manufacturers eventually went that way because it introduces too many artifacts, too many picture errors into the picture. Now this B&O lists itself in the literature as not having 100 Hz. However, I do feel that it has excessive amount of digital processing going on, and I want to demonstrate this very shortly. We're in front of the B&O right now, and I'll load up Alien vs Predator. Again, this is MAME, or Groovymame more specifically. Now this screen here, this splash screen here, this is the telltale screen. I'm going to get in close. Hopefully that light in the background won't throw things off, but if you look carefully, and the camera should pick that up, it looks good on the screen here. If you look at the U in Euro, or any of those zeros or O's on the screen right now, you will see several blue pixels highlighted in the center like vertical stripes displaying. So that's the B&O. Let's have a look what the Loewe does. You will see with the Loewe that the text is perfectly clear and as you would expect. The Loewe is fine, whereas the B&O does it to every single letter on the screen. Look at the ends there on the end of Alien. We've got a blue vertical stripe through them. To be honest, it actually looks quite crap. That is a classic sort of 100 Hz problem. That's the sort of thing that the artifacts that get introduced into the picture. And this is a problem because everything you look at on this television one way or another will be affected by this processing that is going on. And I think that's the main problem with the B&O here. Might be 100 Hz, but I certainly think it's got some sort of processing going on which is affecting the picture. Now, the B&O doesn't look too bad. The Loewe is still better. It's just a little bit crisper. The scan lines are a bit more visible, and it's just that little bit more cleaner. I think the B&O is just a tiny bit washed out, and it's probably that processing that's doing it. I don't think there's any way to turn the processing off. So I have to say the Loewe is the victor in the comparison between the two television sets. Anyway, while we're here, we'll have a bit more look at the B&O. Have a look around the back, have a look inside, see what it's got. The MX8000 has a fairly powerful sound system like its predecessors. I think it's rated at 40 watts and it fairly cranks. It's pretty loud now. That's at maximum. Yeah, so it fairly cranks up, that's for sure. We'll go for a wander around. At the front here, you've got your power switch, composite in, left and right audio in, and a headphone there on the very left next to the video plug. A very slim design on the MX8000. This is a black version of the TV. They come in various colours. You've got two SCART sockets there, and both of them actually do take RGB. That power plug there, this one, it's one of those figure 8 ones that go in the back of the PlayStation and the Saturn, so that's removable, very handy. There's a series of other sockets in the back here. I think they're for speakers. There's one there, there's a little removable thing, some other B&O feature. The one thing I am surprised about though is that it doesn't have any S-video capability as far as I can tell. There's no dedicated socket on the back like the MX7000. There's nothing on the front. I've tried running S-video through the SCART sockets, couldn't manage anything, so it's a bit of a strange omission. The service menu is quite easy to get into. All you need to do is press menu and then within 3 seconds press 00 go. There we are, we're in the service menu. Go into monitor, you can go down to geometry adjustments, plenty of adjustments available there. You can download the service manual for the MX8000 off the internet and it'll tell you what all those functions do there. Piece of cake. The MX8000 can be rotated onto its side, and while it's like that I can also show you there's a little stand here which will elevate the front of the TV just a fraction, tilt it upwards in other words. Just one word of caution though, when you do rotate it onto its side like this, it will fall quite easily with a moderate bump, so be very careful if you are going to rotate the set as such. Okay, the back's off. The tube inside the B&O is LG Philips. LG Philips started working together around that 2000 time. It's the A66 EAK tube. That tube's been around a long time, that design. It's in a lot of the German brands of TVs, probably very common for a lot of European branded TVs. The B&O being Danish, they've opted to go for the Philips, LG Philips. It's a fairly compact chassis. The thing is with this TV, being made in 2002, it's actually fairly sort of outdated really, which is not a bad thing for retro gamers, but when you think 2002, that the screen is still 4:3, it's not widescreen, and it's not even pure flat, it's still reminiscent of the MX line from years ago, which is obviously a deliberate effort by B&O to go that way. So it's not a bad thing for retro gamers, but that processing, that problem that you saw with Aliens vs Predator on the blue text, that's an issue. That's a bit of a deal breaker with this one. So I wouldn't go out of your way to look for the MX8000. You might be better off with the MX7000. That seems to be a fairly well-liked TV. I'll probably do a review of one of those soon. I don't have one at the moment, but I've got access to one. So, you know, don't pay the big dollars for these sort of things. maybe just stick with the German and the Japanese brands. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.